Welcome, Solara here. It's been a while since I've done a video reading, and I feel like I want to do one today. I have no format for it. I'm just going to, I have a whole bunch of decks in front of me, and we'll see what comes out. This much I know, right? I know that a lot of us have been under severe attack. And the attacks have come against all of our energy centers in different ways. But a big area of attack have been our throat chakras, from our ability to be able to speak and stand in our truth and convey our divine truth and express divine messages, whether it's actually through our throats and speaking it, or whether it is literally living it and expressing it. There's been a lot of attack against that. There's been a lot of attack against the sacral energies, which of course is always the divine feminine, the sacral and the root and the solar plexus also, like creating new realities for us on the earth. There's been a lot of attacks against that, and I just want to go in there and see what messages come out. There's a lot of flying, confusing energy right now. It's supposed to be that way, to kind of get us into a state of confusion, to make us feel as if we are crazy, delusional, to make us forget who we are, to make us forget everything we've been through, to make us forget the true messages that we've received. I liken it to kind of being in the midst of a tornado or a really big storm. And it's almost like the energies around us are really fast moving and chaotic. And yet, because we cannot leave our homes, and this is not literally, but I'm speaking within the metaphor of the tornado. It's like, because we're not supposed to go outdoors into the energy, it's like we're stuck, right? So it's like we're in the midst of these crazy, chaotic, swirling energies that we cannot yet move in because we cannot see clearly in it yet. And so in the midst of all of that, we have to find our own center, and we have to hold on and remember how far we've come and the messages we've received up until this point, because that chaotic energy is wanting to make us feel trapped, and is wanting to make us doubt, and is wanting to cause us to forget our truth. It's all one big fucking mental game. It's all a bunch of mental fuckery. And the minute you realize that, and that as a being of light, you are actually more connected to your heart, you know, and you realize that all they have is the mental magic, because actually reality is created by way of the emotions. Everything birthed into reality comes forth through water. Right? Water is your emotion. Water is your dream state. Water is your soul, right? Everything must come through there. So if they can't fuck with your mind, they can't fuck with your emotions. And this is very important to know, because that is the order through which things come into existence. The tarot shows us this. It's elementally first fire, spirit, air, mental, water, right? Emotions, earth, physical reality. This is how things come into being. So if what they try to do within the context of the matrix magic is they use mind magic, they condition and program our minds, because they're very, very aware that if they can do that without us recognizing it, that automatically our emotions, because that's how strong our emotions are, will automatically match up to the energy of the mental magic they're putting out there. Now, what we have to do is we have to overwrite the mental magic, the messages that they send out to us. We cannot be passive with everything that runs through our minds. It's not always us. And the way you know if it's you or not is that you must tune into your divine truth. You must come back into divine order and remember who you are. And any thought that is contradictory to your divine order and your divine truth is actually not of you. You may have accepted it in the past, but it's still not of you. And as a divine being, a divine sovereign being, what you then do is you return that energy and you say, I do not consent to it being a part of my mental reality or in my mental field or in my mental body. And it has to obey you. it has to obey you. So at this time, it's really important that you remember that you are sovereign. And sovereignty is about having full ability to own your energy, to master and command your own energy without allowing others to do it. So while you are standing still in the midst of the tornado, make sure that you are speaking your truth to yourself. Make sure that you are returning those energies that don't belong to you, because they're trying very hard at every turn to cling right now, to attach to your reality in order that you begin to go back into timelines that have been manifested for you by the matrix system and the matrix magic, and those people who it was in their interest for you to stay in those lower timelines. For many of you, karmic situations, karmic family. But it's really important that right now you trust in your truth, you trust in your divine guidance, you trust in the messages that you've received, because when the dust settles, and it will, you will begin to see the true picture, as opposed to the chaos that they're trying to, what the divine is showing me right now. It's kind of like I feel like it's something that was done in theater, like when in the middle of a scene, it's kind of what would be the word? It's a satire, right? Satirical, where they were showing the audience that something's going on here that they don't want you to see, and so there's a lot of chaos energy that's placed in front of what it is that they don't want the audience to pay attention to. It's done purposely, right? To show the audience that something's happening behind the scenes. It's kind of like that's happening in our reality right now. And it's always been the case of the Matrix to use the smoke screens and the mirrors and the chaos energy to distract from what's really happening. But right now, it's at an all-time high as we come out of this eclipse corridor and we enter tomorrow into the 1111 portal. And the whole point is to get you off track in order to have you create for yourself a timeline that is not in alignment with your divine truth. But we've come too far, and we're too fucking smart at this point to fall for that shit. So let's see. I've done a lot of talking. 7 minutes in. Let's get a card. And realize it's coming from all angles. It's not just like the things you're seeing on the news. It's the players that haven't done the work and are still attached to the matrix system, and therefore still have a lot of entity attachments working through them. It is the chemicals that they release into the atmosphere. It is the light and the sound waves they use to fuck with our energy fields, because they know who we are. It's coming from every angle. It's like kicking up big time. So if you feel right now like you are like I said, like stuck in your home in the midst of a tornado, it's because you kind of are. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. What you're experiencing is very real. It's time for a treat. Candy cane angel. Candy cane angel, yeah. So in the midst of all of this, and I can completely relate to this message, in the midst of all of this, it can be really difficult to pull yourself out and want to go out and to do things, or even if you don't want to go out, because I'm in a space where I don't want to see nobody right now, you know. But even like just doing things for yourself, it's really important right now that you treat yourself. It's really important that you don't condemn yourself for the situation you find yourself in right now, because for a lot of us, we have been. The karmic energies kind of wanted to trap us into a corner, and yet it was also divinely led and divinely guided. And as such, you know, there's a lot of self-condemnation that can come up. But again, that energy of the condemning is again that programming of the matrix that we must release now. You were not sent here in order to perform or to do or to be a certain way or to adhere to a certain template. And when you fall off of that, there's something wrong with you. No, that's not the case. And right now, we're being forced to let go of that. And as we're being forced to let go of that, it creates confusion within self, because now our identity has to be based upon our divine truth and our divine guidance in how we move forward and truly connect with that and live it in the midst of a world and a situation where we've always been told that no, if you don't act this way or live this way, then you don't get to have the treats of the matrix. And now, like all of us we're over that, because the treats of the matrix are tricks, right? So at this point, it's just like we must learn how to treat ourselves and simply for being. So I know for me, the message that came through on the morning of the eclipse was like, no more sacrificing your energy for the matrix system. No more sacrificing of self, no more sacrificing of your children. It's time to rest. It's time to anchor in your balance and your truth. It's time to just be. However that looks for you right now in this season of transition, it's time to just be. And there's this, at the bottom of the deck, it's the you miss someone card. And for some of you, that could be another person. I know that we are in this 1111 portal, and part of the matrix system likes to kick up all of this twin flame energy, right? And yet at the same time, it does have something to do with our divine partners and divine co-creators. But the message I'm actually getting for this, in terms of the you miss someone, and funnily enough, it is an 11, 2 plus 9, right? Is it's almost like we miss who we were, or we miss who we could have been. It's a very weird, like a dichotomous energy I'm feeling, even trichotomous, but it's like this energy of knowing that the people that we were not in alignment with our truth, and yet life seemed a little bit easier. That's one thing. Another thing is like, it's almost like, for many of us, we began to build things for ourselves, and we began to see how capable and strong and smart and all of these things that we are, and we still are, if not so, even more so, except there were times when there was tangible evidence for that. And it's almost like we're missing that part. There's so much to be missed right now. And even missing, it's even also like for many of us who are going through this whole realizing through the eclipse window some of the more sinister things that have been done to us by those who've said they love us, right? There is an energy of like maybe not missing those people, but there is there's always, it's like regret and remorse. It's not like regret on your side, but it's like, it's a sadness. It's a sadness that comes up, and it's right to come up because we were duped. We were duped. And I think also the energy that we're feeling right now is a very collective one also, because the people who've done the duping are also very remorseful. Even if they don't say it with their words, as intuitive beings, you can feel it when they come around you. Even the ones that are fighting against you and resisting, who they're beginning to see and recognize you are, you still feel their regret and their remorse. Even if it's unexpressed or it doesn't want to come out consciously through their beings, you still feel it, you still sense it. So there is this energy of, there's this deep-seated remorse energy that we're feeling personally, but it's also a very collective energy. And I think that with this card coming up, the Candy Cane Angel, it's all the more reason why we're being called to be really compassionate with self, really gentle with self, because we're going through a lot. You know, we're going through our own stuff, and we're going through like the energies of the collective, and it ain't easy. It ain't easy. I'm going to go into the energy oracle and see what messages come out. Ooh, I feel pain in my solar plexus suddenly. Pain in my solar plexus. That's inner child wound. That's sibling wounds. That's groups of children wounds. That's all of the childhood wounding energies of the matrix designed to have an effect on you in order to energy harvest wounds. That's that solar plexus. The whole system is based upon wounded child energy, wounding us as children so that we continue to live in those wounds and become really good consumers, and then go on to wound our own children to continue the cycles that contribute to commercialism, consumerism, capitalism, energy harvesting, soul harvesting, I should say. Soul harvesting, like S-O-U-L or S-O-L, like the sun or the solar plexus. And the thing about it is these fuckers thought you'd never know, and now we're all waking up, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. And at every turn, it's like they're still trying to blindfold you and blindfold me. It's like at every turn. But what you're feeling right now is you're not living in deception. What you're feeling right now is you're feeling what it is that's been done to you all this time. But now you're consciously aware of it. You know, like I was saying in the Daily Alchemy portal a few days ago, I think it was on the eclipse message, that I was saying that all of these attacks that we're feeling right now, it's not like they haven't been happening all along. It's just that now we're consciously aware and we're actually feeling it. Whereas before, these assholes, they were cloaked. The stuff they were doing was cloaked. And it doesn't mean that it didn't have the same detrimental effect upon your energy field. It's just that you didn't know what was happening. You'd be sick. You'd be confused. You'd be fucking up your own reality, your own life, based upon the conditioning and the programming and the magic they were sending your way, and you didn't know. But now you know. And that's almost also with this energy of remorse I was talking about, it's almost more heartbreaking. It's more heartbreaking because now you see it. There's no more veils. There's no more deception. So you're living it in real time. You're living it in real time. And yet they're still trying to put the veil over you, which is even more insulting to your intelligence now. It's like, anyway. They were telling me to focus on the 2 and the 9 of this card too. That's High Priestess and Hermit energy. So it really is a Hermit energy, funnily enough, to me as a reader, how my guides have shown it to me. It's more than just being alone and soul searching. It really is about breaking free through the process of returning home to self. That's what Virgo energy is about. It's about recouping the energy of your soul after the energy of Leo, which is really that solar plexus energy again that speaks about your soul, your sun, all the ways they try to harness your energy by keeping you in a constant cycle of childhood wounding. And the Virgo energy is a breaking free of that, walking free by reconnecting with your soul and with your divine guidance. And then, of course, the High Priestess is connecting with the cosmos. It's connecting with the Divine Mother energy. It's connecting with your divine truth, your divine origins by way of trusting the intuitive guidance of your soul. And so there's something about right now really basking in the energy of being alone and trusting more than ever what it is that you're feeling and intuiting and the messages that have brought you so far and your divine guidance before you trust anything that's happening outside. Because right now, for all intensive purposes, the matrix is is crumbling, is crumbled pretty much. And what is around us energetically is dust. What is around us is that tornado, that swirling dust. So anything you're seeing outside of yourself now more than ever, cannot be trusted. Okay, so it's really important to go within to find out what it is that's actually happening. The temple path wanted to come out. I don't know if I stopped it, but if it's supposed to be, it will come out again. Oh. It's interesting, 22 and 21 came out. So yin and yang and strategy. The yin and yang card is, for me, is well, look at this. Temple path came out at the bottom. So it did come out anyway. Before I lose my thoughts, there were some cards I was seeing. Yes, here it is, all tied up. It didn't come out, but it wanted to make itself known. It was all tied up, and I think that's the only one. All tied up, and it was man holding a coin. But what actually came out here was the yin and the yang, the 22 card. That's a balance, a masculine and feminine energies, balance of light and dark. It's that 22 energy, which is where we are. We're in 2022. It's a year of union. 21, strategy, came out. And then man holding a heart came out, right? 45. And then at the bottom, the temple path came out. But what also was showing itself at the bottom of the deck originally was the man holding a coin, as well as the all tied up. And that goes back to this message I was telling you about, how it's like, even though everything has been uncloaked, there's still this active desire to try to put veils back over us. And I'm talking about veils etherically, especially too. So that's why I said to you at the very beginning of the message, whatever does not align with your divine truth is a lie. And it's really important that we know that, because the mental magic is trying to confuse us and to veil us again and to trap us into this idea of materialism, for one thing, this idea of following the template of the matrix in order to get out of these matrix situations, which is never going to be the case. So there may be offers coming your way, especially materially, or to do with money, right? And I'm never one to say to you, don't do it, because at the end of the day, we've all got to live. This is a decision that you're going to have to make for yourself. But be aware that there's a lot of strategies around not only money, but even around situations coming our way when it has to do with love. And that's not to say that some of them aren't real. It's just that we are being called to use our discernment, because just like we know that we are in this year of union and in this union window with the 1111 portal, so do the powers that were, and they are not going down without a fight. So at every turn, they're still trying to throw dirt at us to see, can we get it in their eyes? Can we, because they can't stop the inevitable. All they can do, and all they've ever really been able to do, is delay. That's the only card they've had. So at the end of the day, what's happening right now is that it's like we were running a race blindfolded, and we didn't see the obstacles, or know even that there were obstacles, right? We didn't realize that when we were tripping and falling, it's because there were people throwing things in our direction. We thought it's, because we're not going the right way, or because there's something there that is naturally there. And that's not the case. And now we're running the race with no blindfold, and we see them throwing shit, right? But they're not stopping, and they're trying to hide behind, it's that whole energy of throwing something and then coming in with the solution, right? But we're not doing that anymore. So just be very vigilant and be very aware of all offers coming towards you right now, because some of them are very real, and then some of them it's like trick or treat. So balance is important. Anything that comes towards you that doesn't align with your divine truth is not for you, is not for me. And I know that sounds very, very militant, right? And I used to think it was until I found out about the shenanigans of the Matrix. But here's the thing. I'm a mother. I don't give my children, if my children come to me and ask me for something, I don't give them half of what they want, you know, unless I don't have it to give. It's my desire as their mother to give them beyond what it is they've asked of me. Now, the matrix system and even our family systems that were programmed and conditioned by way of the matrix system, that's why family is an institution, right? Loves to just give us little bits to keep us in our place, right? It's even why people say to you, oh, don't, like, say to parents, don't tell your child that they're this and they're that, they're smart and they're beautiful and they're funny and all of this. They're going to get a big head and they're going to think too much of themselves. Have you literally heard people say that? No, what could happen is that your child could grow up to be confident and to believe that they're capable of doing anything. But at every turn, it's like, give a little bit of something to make you feel like you're on the right path, when really it's like, if we really believe that we are children of the universe, or that Mother and Father God are truly our divine parents, then why would they give us just a little bit of what it is that is due us? Why would they not give us everything and more? And I say that because I learned a really important lesson on this journey when a person came towards me who I had an attraction to, but I knew they weren't everything I wanted. And at that point, like through a series of dreams and downloads and my divine masculine being everywhere in my energy, my guide said to me, Tanya, why would you settle? Why would you settle? Like, why would you settle? Like, why would you not just wait for the whole, do you not believe that you're worthy of everything that it is that you say you want? Do you not believe that the universe will provide you with every single thing that you want? Do you think you have to settle for some of the things on your list? That's lack of faith. That's lack of trust. That's a lack mentality, and it's time for you to get out of that. That's the semblance, the debris of the matrix. You're a fucking divine being. You're a fucking divine being. I called myself Tanya, but if you know me, then you know that was my matrix name, and the name that's been given to me, the name that I've chosen for myself, is Solara. But I digress. Why settle? We're done settling. So if something comes on your path and it's not everything, if it doesn't tick every box, move away. Move away. And take your stand and say, and proclaim it to the universe, proclaim it to Mother and Father God. I know my worth. I'm no longer doubting it. I'm no longer falling for the tricks. I know my value, and I'm not going to accept anything below my value anymore, right? I'm going to go into the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. See if we can get any messages. Yeah. A lot of I'm not going to take all of those. I'll take the one that came out. Fogged in. Fogged in. This deck is a wonderful deck for just figuring out, like, where you are on your journey. Like when you're a little bit confused and you want to hone in on the energies, and I love this deck for this, because look at this. I just spoke about that energy of being like in the midst of like a tornado and the dust kicking up everywhere and not being able to see, which is kind of like that energy of fog, right? So again, if you feel like things are at a standstill for you, or like you're moving very slowly and you're trying to fight against it, don't. Right now is the moment to recognize that there's dust everywhere and it's a storm. And before you can make a move, that's actually 1744 my clock. Before you can make a move that's actually going to provide for stability, as you move forward, you must be able to see the full picture. And right now, we're not seeing the full picture, especially not in the 3D. But even, I would venture to say, even in how we're connecting divinely right now, we're not seeing the full picture because we're not really, it's not time yet. It's not time. So go slow, take your time. You're not in a race. I know the Matrix had you thinking that you were in some kind of race. You're not in a fucking race. There are no milestones. They're fake. Okay? And at the bottom, we have transformation, Phoenix energy, right in the midst of Scorpio season, right? A fresh new way of living emerges. So a fresh new way of living, it is emerging. It may not feel like it right now, but what we're in the midst of is like, I like to call it the die-off period. You know, like if you've ever done like a parasite cleanse, like that period of time where you feel like shit, right? Because you've done the protocol and you're parasite free, but the parasites are dead and now they have to be expelled, kind of thing. That's what we're dealing with. And in the die-off phase, it's like you have the breakouts, the intestinal issues and everything. And then there comes a time when you wake up and it's just like you feel fucking amazing. And it's a fresh new you that has emerged from that period. And if you haven't done a parasite cleanse and maybe like even a detox, or a fast, where in the midst of the difficulty, that's when it feels like shit and you're just like, why am I doing this? Am I stupid? I shouldn't have put myself through this, and blah, 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 blah. And is it even worth it? And all of that doubt wants to come up. It wants to kick up, right? But that's just this is the dying off of certain energies. These energies have to die, and they're not dying quietly. They're dying loudly, But all of that is it's that energy for bringing forth a new dawn. And as I lift that up, we have reaching your destination. So the message I'm getting, and then we have infinite abundance, right? So while it might feel like you're moving very slowly, right? It might even feel like you're not moving at all. In the 3D, it might literally feel like you're not moving at all, but you are. And let me remind you that Scorpio season, that season of death and transformation and being born again, it comes right before Sagittarius season, which is the season of the archer, the being pulled back with the bow and arrow in order to be launched all the way forward. And Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius also carries the frequency of the 144. So be aware that even though it feels like you're not moving anywhere, even though it feels like you are standing still, even though it might feel even like you're being launched back, it's all preparation for a grand rebirth, a grand transformation, a grand propelling forth into expansion. So don't be fooled, because it's the Matrix that wants you to believe that the only way to move forward is to go, 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 grind, 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 don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself, when really that was never for you. It was never for you. So don't be afraid right now if your guidance is chill out, rest, recuperate, and you're just like, but how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? It's because we're still taking our orders from the conditioning and the programming of the Matrix, and we're being helped to move out of that. Yes, it's the transformation that's happening also is the transformation and the renewing of our minds, because we've been under such programming and conditioning, which is, like I said, the Matrix magic is mental, and now we are coming into divine alignment, divine logic, which isn't the same as matrix logic. If you have a mind, right, and you are at all a critical thinker, then you know that the matrix logic is actually completely illogical. When you really think about it and you break it down and you look around you and how the world actually works naturally, as opposed to the structures that we've created by way of man, because we've run away stupidly with all of our ideas, thinking that we're better and that we can somehow like overtake natural law and natural order, which really is quite stupid and illogical when you think about it. But if you look at nature, which always keeps things in perfect balance and order when it's not tampered and fucked with, then you actually see logic. This is where you see logic. Not in the books that they created and the lessons they created for us in order to condition and program us into the slave templates of the matrix, right? Okay, I think I'm going to finish up. And you know what? I'm going to go into the soul journeys, blah, 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 lesson cards. And then I'm going to finish up with some tarot. I'm going to ask my higher self, what is it that so many of us are being asked to focus on right now on the journey? Sorry for the banging of the cards. Sorry, not sorry. It's how I move the energy. Okay, higher self. What is the soul lesson that we are collectively as divine beings? What is the energy that we're being called to tune into right now in terms of the soul lessons? Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So we're coming right off of the lunar eclipse that happened, the full eclipse that happened 2 days ago in Taurus. And Taurus is that energy that speaks of our value system, right? And for so long, we've equated success and value with things that have hurt us and hurt one another and brought wrongful death. And when I say wrongful death, right? Death is a natural part of natural order, right? But what we have done as a people, living out of our divine truth, is we've brought death to a lot of things that shouldn't be dying, and we have infused the energy of life into things that should have died because we've been completely out of balance. And because we've been out of balance, we have called things that are profane good, and we've called things that are damaging good, and we've called things that are actually valuable unworthy. Right? And now we're being called, like I said, it's the transformation and the renewing of our minds. And this is a process that we've been going through for years. But now we're at a point of culmination because this eclipse is forcing all of us to be not only divine beings, but the entire system, world system, is having to take a look at value, at that word value and what we equate with success. Because the matrix system had us all under the illusion of choice by giving us a certain amount of templates. It's like democracy, right? You think that you have the right to vote, but really the candidates have been chosen for you. And it's the same within the context of, it's the same energy throughout the matrix. It's like, it's always the illusion of freedom, the illusion of choice, right? So you're given certain templates, but you're told that if you live outside of the context of the templates provided, that you suffer, or that you fail, or that you will be ostracized, right? And so therefore, only if you stay within the context of following the templates given to you, do you get to access this ever elusive thing they call success, which once you reach that, once you reach that milestone, you find out you want more. So is it really success? Whereas the matrix is designed to keep you forever hungry and forever chasing. But you're not, you weren't put here to chase. You weren't put here to chase. So right now, what we're being called to do is to tune into into that frequency of love. Because if we've learned how to truly love, then that is success. That is what allows us to ascend. If we have decided to walk away from everything that is loveless and is pretending to be love and is a facade of love, right? Not only with others, but within self first, then we are ultimately succeeding. It's that verse in the Bible, and y'all know I'm not religious, but I was a born again Christian, so I know scripture and I use it as a philosophy now, not as a law. But a lot of Christians love to use that verse where it says, at the end of your journey, your race, there's no race. At the end of your race, the words you want to hear from God is, well done, good and faithful servant. Well, those are the words that should be coming forth for you within yourself right now. If you have learned how to truly love. You see, the matrix system has been this huge ass fucking human social experiment to see how far we would go to hurt one another, to have the false things that they've called the treats that are really the tricks. And if you've woken up out of that and you've realized that all of this stuff was designed not only to disengage you from your divinity, but ultimately from your humanity, then well done. You are a success. Well done. Welcome to New Earth. Welcome to New Earth. And so at the bottom of the deck, we have imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Now, the matrix system was designed to kill our creativity, right? Because if you're given only a certain, even within creative fields, if you're only given certain templates on how you are allowed to live or able to live, if you're given all of these limitations, then that actually puts blocks in creativity. Because creativity and imagination are boundless. They are divine, feminine, womb energy, void energy. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's infinite. And so now we're being called to retune into that energy where we begin to dream a new reality. And we access that through this thing that they told us was our imagination, which is actually more real than the fucking simulation they've had us living in, right? So it's a beautiful time to dream, right? In October, the energy of bear was coming in very, very strong for me. You know, it's time to hibernate. It's time to hibernate. It's time to dream. It's time to connect with our dream space. It's time to begin to plan, but not in the way of like getting our ships in order kind of thing. It's like we are being able to create the limitations and the grids that existed within the matrix system in order to imprison and limit us are coming down. That means that our dreams for ourselves and our futures are greater than they've ever been able to be before, like in terms of our access. You know, like we could dream and imagine things in our minds before that we couldn't access, but now we can. And it's like we're being called to transform and renew our minds to align with this new idea of success. A template that we're creating for ourselves, that we're co-creating with the divine, as opposed to the templates, which are really the little prisons that they created for us energetically, where it's like, you can go this far, but no farther because this is not possible because the matrix says so. That's not true anymore. But because we've lived in this conditioning individually and then collectively, and because collectively we've lived within the confines of these limitations and we've created this reality based upon that, because we created this reality. They used us to create this reality with their mental magic, because that's how powerful we are. Then we are also now responsible to undo this shit with our imaginations. It's a daunting task. It's a daunting task, right? And yet, we must be up for the job. Because not only did we choose to come here, some of us were sent. We are God's elite. We are mother and father God's elite. And that's the truth. So whatever it is that they've told you you can't have, whatever it is they told you you can't have, is exactly what you should be going for right now. Because the only reason they tried to tell you you couldn't have it is because they're terrified of what happens when you do get it. Because it's not only a possibility, but it's an inevitability. Because remember what I said? The only thing they can do is cause delay. You cannot, they cannot, and they will not stop the inevitable. The only way to stop this now is if we stop believing. Because it's always been about us. It's always fucking been about us. They became powerful off of utilizing us to not know our power so they could then command it for us. And now it's game over. Lights out. We done. We done. Yeah. So I'm going to get some tarot. I'm going to get some tarot. Thank you for hanging out with me. We back. We back. They tried to keep us down. They tried to throw rocks at us and we decided to build our empires. They threw shit at us and we turned it into fertilizer. That's who we are. We are transmuters of energy. We are transformers. We cannot be stopped. We could be slowed down. That's all they succeeded in doing, but we cannot be stopped. The Nine of Wands. There we go. The Nine of Wands wanted to come out. And the Seven of Wands. Divinely guided, divinely protected. We will not be stopped from it. With all of our woundedness, the Nine of Wands, which again is Sagittarius energy, we will not be stopped from reaching our full expansion, from reaching the wheel of fortune, not only for ourselves, but for all of humanity. We will not be stopped. Right? I forgot this one. I don't shuffle. I spread before me and I pull based upon where I'm guided. So let's get a card for overarching theme, challenge, and then the best way to navigate. I haven't turned them over yet. I'll show you as I turn them over at the bottom. We got justice, justice, ma'at, balance, universal balance, karmic balance. 22 came out before. Let me remind you in the energy oracle. Yin and yang, balance of masculine and feminine, light and dark, coming back into natural order. These people, the powers that were, don't be fooled by all of the dust. Because galactically, they have stood before the councils and they have received their judgments. On this plane, we still have time. And even that is falling apart. Don't be fooled. They've already been judged. Balance is already here. It's already in the ethers. And if it's already in the ethers, it's only a matter of time. It's already trickling into our reality because that is the nature of creation. As above, so below. What happens in the heavens will eventually happen on the earth. And right now, time is speeding up. So the balance has already occurred in the ethers, already occurred in the heavens. It's not, like I said to you before, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And we are responsible for that timeline because again, at every turn, what they're trying to do right now is not stop it because they can't stop shit. It's already done. What they're trying to do right now is slow us down again. But the only way that they can slow us down is if they trap us into old timelines. And the only way we can get trapped into old timelines is if we believe they're shit. And we too smart for that. Okay? Let's see what's come out. The Hanged One. Overarching theme. This is very interesting because the Justice and the Hanged One in the tarot are right next to each other. Justice is number 11 and the Hanged One is 12. And some tarot scholars say that the Hanged One comes after Justice because it is the sentencing. So for this to come out as the overarching theme, that means that the sentencing that has happened in the ethers is happening now here on the ground. It's happening here on the ground. Okay? But the Hanged One also, when we're talking about us, is Pisces energy, right? Which, again, is 12th house energy. So it has to do a lot with karmic energies and past life stuff. A lot of the sentencing across the age for that stuff is happening now on the ground. The Hanged One is also here to encourage us to stay put and to see things, start to look at things differently. In other words, like I said to you before, I'm going to bring the message back again. Do not look at what it is that you're seeing. It's dust. You're living in a fucking cloud of dust right now. Dust. It's not even the illusions. The illusions have crumbled. It's the dust cloud. Let it settle. Chill out. Chill out. Chill out and let the dust settle. And see past it right now. See past the dust. See it for dust. And see that there's something so much bigger past it. Right? The Challenge is a Strength card. Ego. And, you know, we need ego. But I'm talking about, like, when we're out of balance with our ego and we fall into fear, you know. We need to rise into that energy of confidence, that courage that is Leo energy. That is, again, your soul, your solar plexus energy. All of that stuff they tried to steal from you as a child to keep you trapped in these lower timelines so that you constantly be looping through cycles that are based upon the childhood wounding, right? The challenge right now is to break out of that completely. Confidently stand in who you are as a divine being. Confidently recover and recuperate every aspect of self and your soul that they've tried to steal and harness and harvest in order to keep the simulation going. Best way to navigate these energies. King of Cups. This is the mastery of your emotions. The Kings are the mastery of the energy. Cups is emotions, it's intuition, it's dreams, right? Remember I said the matrix is based upon mental magic, but as a divine being, your power actually resides in your emotions. This is why you're empathic. This is why you're able to connect so deeply, not only with others, but the cosmos. Right now, you're being called to master that energy because it's bigger than anything they try to throw at you. Anything that you think, you have the ability to magnify with this King of Cups energy. And they know this. This is why they wanted to keep you wounded, because as long as you were wounded and stuck in fear, guilt, shame, you were magnifying those energies, and those are the energies that keep the matrix alive. But right now we're being divinely guided to remember who we are and to master the emotions, master the element of water which births all things. Master it. Master your emotions. Get authority back over your dreams, because they fucked with us through our mental bodies, accessing our dream state through their commands that they use to program us. It's all interconnected. Take back authority over your dreams. And I'm talking about the dreams that you have when you're connecting with your imagination, like that card came out, but also the dreams that you have, literally your own dream world, your dream kingdom. Because this is a lot of the binding they did against divine beings was done in dream state. Because While we didn't know who we were, they knew. They knew. They knew who you were before you re-entered the earth. Because a lot of people were put through their fake reincarnation cycle. So they knew who you were coming back, and they just erased your memory of the life before. But they can't erase it permanently because it lives within you. Everything that you are and have ever been in the history of the cosmos lives within your waters. The waters of who you are. It's like the waters on the earth. The waters that exist on the earth hold the memory of the entire history of earth, because that's the nature of water. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't even fully transform. It just transitions into a different state before it comes back again. Your soul, the memory of every single person, being, energy you've ever been or inhabited lives within your waters. It's your soul, right? It's your soul. It lives within your cellular makeup. It's there. It's there. And it's within the waters that you reprogram. It's like when you are in your mother's womb and you're surrounded by fluid. That fluid is there to program you also. Program you. It should have been divinely, but unfortunately, because our mothers were plugged into the matrix system too and were severely wounded, it wasn't. It was just repeating those codes of woundedness and dysfunction. But right now, it's like we are in, and I keep on seeing this also in my own personal reality, we are in the primordial womb space where we are able to reconnect with our truth, to be programmed in our divine truth. So that's what I have for you. If you stuck with me this long, amazing. Thank you. I am not doing personal readings anymore, but I am available for coaching. And I also am selectively doing Tarotstrology reports. My website will be listed below. Tarotstrology reports, for those of you who may not have had one with me before, they are very, very in-depth written reports that deal with your soul blueprint. It's astrology meets tarot meets channeling, where I go through your entire chart and I write based upon your placement as it relates to tarot and as it relates to channeled messages. And so it's a wonderful report if you are interested in understanding your own gifts and your own divine blueprint. Right? And it is a timeless report that you can return to again and again and again. And that's what it's designed to do. And all of my work, this reading, my reports, my coaching, it's going to activate you to take you to the next level, because that's the energy that I carry. That's one of my gifts just by being in my presence. So, yes, with that said, if you're interested, all information will be below. I do a whole selection across the gamut of pricing. So if you want to have just one placement done in terms of your tarot astrology, you can do that. Or if you want to have the full report of both your inner and your outer planets, or just your inner planet, it's there. Anyway, check out the website if you're interested. I wish you guys a happy 11/11 portal. I'm sending you so much love and so much peace. Until next time, take care of yourselves.